You have been told the wrong story about exercise for most of your life. Not because people wanted to deceive you, not because doctors were careless, but because the truth was uncomfortable, inconvenient, and easy to ignore. From the time you were young, the message never changed. Walk more, stay active, get your steps in. 10,000 steps a day is the gold standard. Doctors repeat it, fitness magazines praise it, television health shows promote it, friends and family remind you of it with love. And on the surface, it sounds perfect. Walking feels safe. Walking feels natural. Walking feels achievable. But for adults over 60, walking alone is not protecting the body the way people believe it is. And this is not an opinion. This is not a theory. This is what the data shows. In 2023, researchers at the University of Missouri published a study that quietly shook the medical community. The researchers followed adults over 60 and divided them into two groups. One group walked regularly, just like doctors recommend. The other group performed seated resistance exercises. Nothing extreme, nothing risky, no heavy weights, just controlled, targeted movement. The result was impossible to ignore. The seated exercise group improved their functional strength by 27% more than the walking group. 27%. That is not a minor improvement. That is a life-changing difference. That is the difference between standing up easily and needing your hands. That is the difference between climbing stairs confidently and avoiding them completely. That is the difference between independence and dependence. But you almost never hear about this. Why? Because there is an enormous industry built around walking. Shoes, fitness trackers, step counters, treadmills, apps. Billions of dollars depend on the belief that walking is the ultimate answer for aging bodies. Orthopedic surgeons, however, have known the truth for decades. Walking is excellent for cardiovascular health. Walking improves circulation. Walking supports mental well-being. But walking does almost nothing to stop the muscle loss that accelerates after age 60. That muscle loss has a name: sarcopenia. It does not announce itself loudly. It creeps in slowly. It steals 3 to 5% of muscle mass every decade after age 30. You do not notice it at first. You adapt without realizing it. You push off the armrest instead of your legs. You hesitate before stairs. You avoid low chairs. You move more carefully. By the time many people reach 70, they have lost close to 1/3 of their original strength. And walking cannot reverse this process. Targeted resistance can. In 2022, Harvard Medical School followed more than 2,000 seniors for 18 months. One group continued walking as their main form of exercise. The other group added seated resistance exercises to the routine. The walking group lost muscle. The seated exercise group gained muscle. Same age, similar health, different outcomes. And here is the detail that made surgeons take notice. The most effective exercise in that study increased bone density by 19% in adults over 65. That is extremely rare. Bones usually weaken with age. Because of findings like this, surgeons now prescribe these exact movements to patients recovering from hip replacements. It outperforms many traditional physical therapy programs. Before we go further, pause for a moment and leave a comment with your age and where you're watching from. We read every single comment. Now, let us begin the 5 essential exercises. Number 5. Seated calf raises. This is the exercise most people ignore, and that ignorance slowly costs them their mobility. The calves are not just walking muscles, they are circulation muscles. Doctors often call them the second heart. Every time they contract, they squeeze blood upward against gravity. Without strong calves, blood pools in the legs, ankles swell, veins weaken, and the risk of clots increases. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology followed seniors with circulation issues. After 12 weeks of seated calf raises, their blood return efficiency improved by more than 40%. Swelling decreased, and legs felt lighter. How to do it? Sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat, knees bent. Press through the balls of your feet and lift your heels as high as you can. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower slowly. The goal? 15 repetitions to start, build toward 3 sets of 25. Once easy, place a heavy book on your thighs for resistance. Number 4. Seated knee extensions. This movement targets the muscle that decides whether you can climb stairs or stand from a toilet without assistance, your quadriceps. Research from the University of Vermont shows that quadriceps strength declines faster than almost any other muscle after 60. Walking barely challenges the quadriceps because flat ground does not demand much from them. How to do it? Sit tall with your back against the chair. Straighten one leg fully. Hold for 3 seconds while squeezing the thigh muscle intensely. Lower slowly over 4 seconds. The goal? 12 repetitions per side for 3 sets. Mental focus on the muscle squeeze increases strength dramatically. Number 3. Seated hip marches. These muscles lift your legs when you walk. When they weaken, steps become short and shallow. Feet barely clear the floor, which is why many seniors trip over nothing. A Mayo Clinic study found hip flexor weakness was the strongest predictor of falls in adults over 60, stronger than balance tests or overall leg strength. How to do it? Sit near the edge of a chair. Sit tall. Lift one knee toward your chest as high as comfortable. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower slowly. The goal? 20 repetitions total, alternating legs for 3 sets. Move slowly with no swinging. Number 2. Seated resistance band rows. Your back muscles keep you upright. When they weaken, posture collapses, shoulders round, and breathing becomes harder. Walking does nothing for these muscles. How to do it? Sit tall. Loop a resistance band around your feet or a sturdy anchor. Pull your elbows back, squeezing your shoulder blades together as if trying to hold a pencil between them. Hold for 2 seconds, release. Slowly. The goal? 15 repetitions for 3 sets. This improves posture and reduces the forward-leaning fall risk. Now we reach the exercise surgeons consider the most essential. Number 1. Sit-to-stand squats. If you do only one exercise for the rest of your life, make it this one. This movement predicts longevity better than many medical tests. It activates nearly every major muscle in your lower body at once. A major study found people who struggled with this movement were 5 to 6 times more likely to die during follow-up periods. How to do it? Sit in a chair, feet slightly wider than hips, arms crossed over your chest to prevent using your hands. Lean forward slightly. Push through your heels and stand up completely. Pause at the top. Now the critical part. Lower yourself back down slowly for a full 4-second count. The goal? 10 repetitions, building to 3 sets of 15. This movement increases bone density, restores functional strength, and protects your independence. It trains the exact vertical power that walking misses. Walking has its place. It is a beautiful way to connect with nature and keep your heart healthy, but walking alone leaves dangerous gaps in your physical armor. These exercises fill those gaps. You do not need a gym. You do not need expensive tools. You need consistency. Your strength is not gone. It has simply been waiting for the right signal. For years, walking provided a maintenance signal. These seated resistance moves provide a growth signal. Within just 2 weeks of daily practice, many people feel a noticeable difference in their stability and leg lightness. By 8 weeks, the changes in bone density and muscle mass become a biological reality. Stop just getting your steps in and start building the strength that keeps you free. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with someone you care about. We want to help as many people as possible reclaim their mobility. Stay strong, stay independent, and I'll see you in the next video.